And if you make a bad decision, oftentimes it can cost you thousands or tens of thousands of dollars. And so it makes making a good decision carry a lot more weight. You want to make sure you kind of avoid those big blowups or those bad decisions. Hey, I'm Spencer Powell, and welcome back to Builder Funnel TV, where remodelers and custom builders tune in to grow their businesses. Here at Builder Funnel, we try to help you focus on a strategy-first approach rather than just jumping straight to tactics. And as a quick reminder, join Remodeler Growth Community over at remodelercommunity.com. We'll also drop a link below, and when you join for the first month, we'll also add in lifetime access to Builder Funnel Academy. All right, let's dive into today's topic. We're going to talk about decision making, and I want to talk about making good decisions and bad decisions. And it's kind of interesting because I was thinking about some of the bad decisions that I made in the past, and if you make a bad decision, oftentimes it can cost you thousands or tens of thousands of dollars. And so it makes making a good decision carry a lot more weight. You want to make sure you kind of avoid those big blowups or those bad decisions. Sometimes it's acting on bad information, right? Maybe you got a stock tip from a friend and you realize that they don't know anything about stocks or investing or the market or anything like that. And maybe that was a really bad decision, either because of the money you sunk into it or the opportunity cost of missing out on something else that you should have been focused on, or maybe you had more knowledge around. Other times it's not acting when you should have. So maybe you were thinking about investing in a business coach or investing in some new technology for your business, and it just felt like it was a little steep or not the right time, and you didn't take action. But then months later or a year down the road, you kind of looked back and said, I really should have just committed to that and started working on implementing that, whether it was coaching or installing the technology and getting that done. And that can be inaction, can be a very poor decision. In marketing, I see this in a number of instances. You see hiring that cheap SEO company because they can do some SEO or something like that for $500 or $1,000 a month. Or you just start posting a few times a week to social media, and you just start jumping right into the tactical things. Maybe you build your website on a free platform like Wix or Squarespace, and you haven't really thought through the long-term end game for what you want that website to be. So you just jump into, well, I need one, so I got to get it up, and I want to do it for cheap, so I'll just get it going. And then you kind of ride that out for a few years, and you realize, well, that wasn't really what my end goal was. And so these types of decisions, I think, are really powerful to think about in the context of trying to avoid making poor decisions. And the same thing goes for content creation. I see a lot of people that will start writing blog posts. They maybe watch you're watching some of these videos and you get inspired and you say, oh, I need to be blogging twice a week or once a week, and I need to be creating video, and I need to be podcasting and doing all these things. And you say, okay, I'm going to jump in, and you start writing blog posts about random topics, and you haven't really thought through, what am I writing about? Why am I writing this? And is it actually serving my business? And you can see this. You can jump onto a blog and you can cruise through it and look at the past 10, 20, 30 posts. And if you look at those topics and you actually ask yourself and you say, is this helping me? Is it helping my business? A lot of times the answer is no. And so we want to avoid those bad decisions of just like jumping to action without any thought at all before we get started. And when we think about that strategy-first approach, you want your website to focus on whatever it is you're trying to draw in. So if you are focused on kitchen remodels, your website should be focused on that. Your process should be focused on that. Your blog content should be focused on that. Your social presence should be focused on that. At every step of the way, you can start baking in parts of the strategy and not the tactics. And so we think about the difference between taking bad actions, oftentimes with little planning and no strategy, and then good actions. Hey, is this a strategic approach? Have I thought about what the outcome should be or should look like? Is this a short-term decision or a long-term decision? And if you've thought through those pieces, then you're going to start increasing the quality of your decision making. And the reason I wanted to talk through this, especially right now, is right now the industry is really, really busy. And supply chain problems and issues are going on. It's tough to find people to fulfill the work. And so a lot of times we've got all this demand and then all these other challenges. It's ripe for making a couple of bad decisions. And I've unfortunately bumped into a couple of companies that have made a couple of those decisions, and they have caused a lot of problems in those businesses, which is really tough to see, because this is a time when businesses in our industry should be performing really well. I reflect back to some of the times where it was really tough to find work, and right now we've got the opposite problem. So I've been thinking a lot about this decision-making process, and really what it comes down to is like this: the spaghetti at the wall doesn't work, right? We want to have a framework, we want to have a process for decision-making, whether that be in marketing or anything else, but what is the desired outcome? What are the different potential paths that I could use to get there? What are the costs or investments needed to go down all of those paths? What are the time commitments to those different paths? What are my current resources? So you're starting to evaluate these things versus just like, okay, that sounds good, let's do it. And we have a tendency to react when we're super, super busy. And so my call to action for today is just to slow down, see if you can take a more strategic approach to your decision making all the time, but especially right now when things are a little bit chaotic and we often need to make quick decisions to get us to the finish line. So I highly recommend you think about this strategic approach to decision making, and again, not only in marketing, but in your health, in your finances, in your relationships, even thinking about like, who do I want to spend time with? How often do I want to spend time with them? And I think having some of that intentionality and then asking a lot of those right questions lead you to the strategic decisions that you need to make to be successful. And as always, if you need help making good marketing strategic decisions, builderfunnel.com is a great place to start. And with that being said, we'll see you next time here on Builder Funnel TV.